The frequency of this place. July 27th, 2021. My worldly possessions have now tripled in number. I have now a small induction burner and cooking pot, a toaster, plates, a bowl with a heart engraved on it, bright gold forks and spoons and knives, a teapot, and a blender. I also have a broom and dustpan, 2 rugs, and 3 large bags of food. It is inexpressibly comforting to have the means of making hot food and tea, to have a rug to lie on, and to be able to sweep the floor. This morning, I visited the Basilica of Mary Magdalene in the neighboring town of Vasley. The basilica is a brisk 2-kilometer walk from my front door, all uphill. At the height of summer, it is green and lush and brimming with life. I pass by fields heavy with harvest, and wildflowers bloom riotously in every meadow. When I climbed the last of the slope and entered through the gateway of the basilica, I walked the grounds for a long time, becoming acquainted with it all. I paused, greeting the stately trees, and sitting for some time in the rose garden. This rose garden is like none you've ever experienced, with heirloom roses blooming in every color, emitting a scent so intoxicating, so powerful, you can breathe it in from anywhere within the garden's gates. Immersed in the heady fragrance of these bright blooms, I could look out over the entire valley. I sat for a long time, doing just that. Coming back, I took my time exploring the rambling, flower-strewn network of walking paths that seam the countryside. These paths have been utilized for hundreds of years by devout pilgrims visiting the churches and holy sites in this region. The paths themselves have been preserved just so for hundreds of years. When I step onto them and follow their routes alongside golden wheat fields, flourishing vineyards, and green tree groves, I feel as though I could be a nymph or fairy or medieval seeker walking through a timeless landscape. As I walked, I felt the presence of miracles, and then my day fell into place one by one, small miracles dropping into place. At one point, I met the mayor of the town and his wife. They were also enjoying a rambling morning walk in the bright sunshine. I stopped to introduce myself. They were extremely welcoming and even offered me a bicycle to use while I was staying here. Now I can explore beyond these paths to the nearby towns. They also told me that there is a man in town who sells furniture, apparently in what I am discovering is a singularly French business model. He doesn't advertise or keep regular hours, but he keeps mountains of furniture, and if you're lucky enough to catch him, he will sell you some of it. I thank them for the bicycle and the information. It is comforting to know I can buy furniture right around the corner. Later, I was in the process of dismally girding myself to, with my extremely limited French, ask the woman in the below-stairs marché for her internet password. Then, as if by magic, help appeared. As I was agonizing over my dictionary, a group of my friends appeared on the cobblestones outside of the cafe, right below my window. They told me later that they had no real reason for being there. They simply stopped and got out of their car and stood there. I waved from my window and ran down the stairs to greet them. Within minutes, I had all I needed to connect to the internet. In fluent French, they introduced me to Sylvia, the owner of the marché, who graciously invited me to use her internet for as long as I was staying in town. I was then preparing to bathe in the tiny shower when I realized I had no towels. Immediately, a knock on my door was followed by the form of Marie entering my apartment. She is a cheerful, motherly woman with silver hair and a competent, bustling, no-nonsense kind of energy. She hadn't intended to find me at home, and she had just come by, she said, to drop off some towels. These may appear to be ordinary coincidences, but the timing of it is uncanny. It feels as though this series of kindly and generous interventions is like a barrage of reassurances that I am being very closely held and watched over in this new and strange place. Seemingly everyone I meet wants to help me and seems to take genuine pleasure in it. The only thing required of me is to be willing to receive. Indeed, the most difficult part of this whole situation is simply admitting when I need help. Yesterday, Marie had taken me to the local supermarket so I could buy food and sundries. It was then that I bought my gold cutlery. Food always tastes better, does it not, from a golden spoon? As the car idled in the small square below my apartment, Marie turned to me suddenly and said, "When people come here, they either transform or they leave. It is a powerful place, watched over by many gatekeepers. They have walked this land for centuries and will not allow anyone to stay who does not belong. Do not underestimate the people here. Do not underestimate the power of the land, and do not underestimate the frequency of this place." I am beginning to understand what she meant.